What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Silent Podcast, place to everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're here to talk about Big Brother 26. Let's go on this Friday night. I'm here with my co-host, per usual, Real Slim Katie. Katie, what's going on your Friday night today?
Shout out to my dogs at the crib. How's it going? I'm
good.
happy to be here. I haven't been here in a few weeks, I think. It feels like it's been a long time, but I'm happy to be
It's
back.
been 1 week. It's been 1 week.
Okay.
Good.
It feels longer.
And then Janelle's in the building. Janelle, what's going on?
Nothing much. I am happy, well, kind of, with how this week is going so far. So I can't wait to chat about it.
Why are you kind of happy? Let the people know what's going on.
I wish Leah were the target and not but
it's almost like someone told y'all that she was going to be in a good spot this week. It's crazy, ain't it? But listen, it's all right because we get to talk about everybody that's still in the game. So,
jury.
Do we just hop into it, or is there any like talking points that anybody wants to bring up before we get to this massive list that we take 2 to 3 hours to talk about every week?
I'm good to just jump in. I feel like I have a lot to say about my favorite player in the house, Quinn. You guys know how I feel about Quinn, but I can wait until we start ranking.
Well, all I have to say is I'm excited it's jury. I think people might start playing a little different. No more AI arena, no more 3 nominations. We're back down to traditional Big Brother for now anyway. So
I'm kind of sad that Ainsley's over. I know it has to be. There's not enough players left to really make it make sense, but I feel like it really made the game fun and unpredictable. And now I worry we're just going to like settle into just like boring noms.
Could be. You're right. Yeah,
that's shout out to Ainsley.
When there's a will, there's a way. But today we're going to talk about the remaining people, the jury, because the jury has officially started. And we have a whole lot of people to run down. So, without further ado, here are the people that we are going to be chatting about per the request. This is how we ranked last week. This is how we're going to rank this week. I'm sorry for all the tabs and everything, but listen, it is what it is. So, shout out Eddie James in the chat. What's going on, Eddie James? All right. But we're going to talk about everyone real quick. Joseph has been sent home. How do we feel about Joseph's massive L that he took this week?
He's the first hit my draft team has taken, so personally, I'm upset. But I do have to say, pretty impressive draft. All my people almost made it to jury. Come on.
You have a pretty good team. I'm not going to lie.
I have a pretty good team.
Yeah. A pretty good team. I only have like Takor and Mackenzie left. I checked it this morning, but you have a really good team. So shout out to that. But all right. Oh, another one of my drafts. I only have Chelsea, so I'm in a spooky territory.
Oh, but that's a good. But that's a good person to have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, we'll see when we get to it. But okay. You know, I feel like we always do the same people first. So let's do.
Let's start from the back.
Let's start with Chelsea. How are we feeling about Chelsea's game? Chelsea is very active. We put her in the A slot last week, guys. Let's start with Katie because you weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Does Chelsea stay at an A slot or does she drop or raise up? How do you guys feel?
I don't think it's time to raise her up yet. I'm talking myself into a potential raise up. I don't know. S is a little too high. I don't think anybody in this cast yet has shown that they're an S tier player. But if it's anybody, it's Chelsea. I think I'm just super impressed with the way that she was on the bottom and then just clawed her way right back up to the top. And she's basically in charge of everybody in this house right now. Nobody wants to touch her. Everybody wants to keep her safe. She's HOH. She's in power. I don't love her nominations. I do think they're a little safe. And at this point in the game, I don't know that it makes sense to go the safe route. I think she could have, or maybe she switched them. I don't know. Feeds him down. I think there's issues, but we think she's going to put up Angela and Chemo. I would have liked to see Quinn on the block. Maybe it's a personal bias, but I just don't know. I mean, Quinn did keep her safe, but I think she's playing a really, really great game, and I think she's in the front running to win for sure. She can play comps. She's won 3 comps. She has everybody having her back in the house. I think she's definitely in the same spot. I mean, to say the best spot.
Yeah, I think I would also leave her where she's at this week. Excuse me. It was a shock for Quinn to put up Joseph last week, and then Chelsea had a heavy hand in him going home. I am not sure how intentional that was. I need her to give a cam talk because the story that she's telling is that it wasn't intentional, but I don't know if that is the case or not. But intentional or not, Joseph leaving, I think, was great for her game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Being there and Rabina being there, and that trio seems to really, really have her back right now, is great for her. And also, I agree with Katie. I do not love her noms. I feel like it's the safe route, but I've noticed Chelsea's willing to make moves and blow things up or do things when she's not the one in power. When she's the one in power, she wants it calm, cool, and collected. I watched all of her one-on-ones last night. She seems very intentional in setting up herself for safety next week. The way she's speaking to people, she's in with T-Core and that crew, Quinn, Leah, MJ. I think she might be foolproof not to be nominated unless somebody snipes her, which would be Quinn or Leah. So I loved all the talks. I see what she was trying to do when setting her up for setting herself up for safety this week. So I like it so far. I know the noms are safe, but it's not going to make any waves in her game and make anybody look at her any harder. Nobody's going to care that Angela goes, and she's swearing like she will break the tie for chemo if there is a tie. So I like what she's doing. A little boring, a little safe, but I think it's going to work for her game.
I actually think even if she does somehow end up on the block, I don't know who would put her up. I think she has the votes to stay at this point anyway, against pretty much anybody in the house except maybe Leah.
T-Core. I think T-Core or her.
T-Core, yeah.
Or her. T-Core or maybe Leah make me nervous, but yeah.
I think Chelsea should be dropped to a B, but I'm outvoted, so I'm not going to do it.
Why?
I think Chelsea is playing a fantastic game, but the fact that Tucker is gone and then Joseph following, I feel like Chelsea is a very blatantly, obviously, the biggest target in the game. And I think she's set up very well.
Yeah.
My fear is she is such the obvious person to take a shot at when it comes to a double or around that final six portion of the game, where if you really pay attention, final six is where big players usually go out. She is such an easy let's boot this person at a double or triple eviction because of everyone is so aware that she's such a threat to win. And I don't think she should have won this HOH. I know she didn't win it by accident. I don't think she should have won this HOH. And I think she's doing herself a disservice for not going after one of Takor's people. I know that she doesn't plan to put up Quinn. I don't actually think she should be trying to put up Quinn. And I don't know. You guys are more aware of what her noms are supposed to be, but if it doesn't involve Rubina or Chemo, with one,
it does involve Chemo, but he's not the target.
If he's not the main target, that is a major mistake to me. I think she is in Takora right now are in this very interesting war that's going behind the scenes where they're working together. It's almost like a voting block, but a voting duo. They're still cordial with each other. But it's almost like a war of let's pick each other's number off. And then when it gets down to it, whoever has the most leverage, that's the person that's going to go. And I think Chelsea is I think she's proactive when she wants to be, but I don't think that she's proactive to shake up the masses the way that it needs to be shaken up when it comes to Takor. I think Takor having that 3-stack is a major threat going down the line. They've been blatantly clear, as I said last week and coming into this week, that they're going to vote however they want to vote, like especially against Quinn. That could easily be put towards Chelsea in other companies, but this 3-stack is very solid. And I don't think Chelsea has it. She's cool with Cam, but I think that she wouldn't put the work in to keep Cam in the game if it was ever. I don't see Chelsea putting her game on the line to protect anyone. I definitely see Takor doing that for her 3-stack. And this 3-stack, the more people leave, is getting more and more dangerous, and the less opportunities to make something happen. So I'm a little worried for her later down the line. Right now, very dominant, very controlling position, very impressive. I just worry for her game a little bit later. But as of right now, she's playing the best game. She's low A, high B for me, but we can keep her in A because, like I said, she's playing the best game. I'm a little afraid for her. I think that she really needed to come after Chemo or Rabina this week. We're going to see what happens. I really think Chemo should have been the guy to leave last week, but we'll see what ramification that happens. But what are you going to do?
I do think Chelsea does have some soldiers, though. Like, I think Cam would go to bat for her. I think Mackenzie would go to bat for her. Mackenzie's like, she's been so just up in the air looking for someone to bring her in. And the closest person that's done that is Chelsea. She kind of just like slid in that Brooklyn spot once Brooklyn left, except I don't think Chelsea cares about Mackenzie as much as she cared about Brooklyn. I just think I don't see who would take a shot. I think Quinn is very loyal to Chelsea too, which, you know, he put up one of his final twos over Chelsea last week, and he walked out the door just like he did last time on his HOH, which we'll talk about when we get to Quinn. But like he had a very easy chance to put either Mackenzie, Chelsea, someone that he's like Cam up on the block, and he chose to keep those people safe and go after his literal own better allies than them. So I just don't know who would take the shot at her.
I'm just seeing Tiffany upside right now. That's
yeah. She's always reminded me a little bit of Tiffany from the beginning.
I'm just afraid.
Yeah, I agree, Katie. The trio is riding for Chelsea, and I was nervous for Chelsea to talk to T-Core and tell her that she plans to pawn Chemo, but T-Core was like, all right, like she didn't budge, she didn't flinch. She was pissed at Quinn, but when it was Chelsea, she was cool with it. And Chelsea seemed to be really upfront with T-Core, and also was trying to utilize T-Core in, even though Chemo didn't fight, but she really was trying to use T-Core to make sure that Chemo knew she still had his back, even though she was about to pawn him. So their relationship seems good. She does have those people in her pocket. She does have MJ fighting for her. She definitely has Cam fighting for her. Their conversation was interesting. But I definitely understand your point, Isaiah. I think the people that she needs to watch for are Leah. And then if she could snipe Leah, she has Quinn more in her pocket because Quinn don't have nobody else. So I definitely fear for her moving forward. But right now, I think she's in a really decent spot.
Well, when Angela comes off the block again and wins HOH next week, that's who's going to take the shot at Chelsea. That's the only way I see it happening.
Yeah.
I think Kara made an interesting point in the chat, which kind of ties into Chelsea, but it also moves into the next person I want to talk about, which is Cam. So she said Cam is choosing MJ over Chelsea after that move Chelsea pulled last week. Cam and Chelsea were on opposite sides of the vote last week, and they're no longer aligned. I think
that's not true.
No, I still think they're aligned, but Cam was very blatantly clear to the house that like he wanted to just be included inside the majority. Yes. I think that's a major mistake from Chelsea as well, which is another reason I drop her to B. I'm not going to do it. Like it's still early. She's HOH, so no one's going to come after. But I really do think the ramifications of the week that just happened is going to pay dividends. We're going to see, but I'm afraid. But more so in Cam, I still think Cam is pretty solid. We have him at a C. I don't think he's done anything to raise his stock, so I'm more obligated to keep him where he is. I think as long as Chelsea and Mackenzie, which I'm very excited to speak about, are doing great in the game, then he's naturally going to be great. I think he's right now, as long as they're in power, guaranteed final 3. As long as one of those two are in control of the game. I like Cam's game. I don't know if he has a chance to win. I don't know if he can get a jury's respect. It really depends on who he's sitting next to. But Cam hasn't been rustling any feathers. I do think that is going to be a pivotal time around, like I said, Chelsea, that 6 to like 5 portion where he's such an easy target to go after because the guy won a comp. He's obviously well liked around the house. And I can see easily him getting sniped around that portion of the game, but we're gonna have to see. But as far as Cam, I think as long as Chelsea's in a good position, I think he's naturally going to be in a good position. So I can put him at like a C for now. I think Takora's side is easily going to try to snipe him when time comes to shove, but not right now. Right now, I think he's solid. So he's a C for me, a high C. But how do you feel, guys?
I would maybe put him in a B. I mean, I'm fine leaving him in a C. I haven't really like been super impressed, but he knows more of what's going on than he leads on, I think. And I think this interesting duo that's kind of coming up with Mackenzie could be interesting for him. I don't know if it necessarily it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact that they're getting closer, I think any kind of insulation is probably a good thing for him outside of Chelsea, just in case something goes wrong and Chelsea somehow does end up leaving. It's good that he has another really close ally. But like again, Quinn was on the other side of the house, technically, sort of. Who really knows where he really stands? And put up Joseph instead of Cam. Cam would have been such an easy nomination. Would have been the easiest nomination, I think, for Quinn last week, and probably wouldn't have ruffled that many feathers, and he still didn't do it. Maybe Leah would put him up if she wins. I don't really know, though. He's another one that I just don't see people targeting, even though traditionally he would be a big threat. I do think with the women loosely talking about being aligned, not sure how real that actually is and how committed they all are, that is a big problem for Cam. Obviously, the men are dwindling. There's only 3 of them. 3, right? Yeah, only 3 of them left. So slim pickings at the time, another woman wins HOH and needs to put up 2 guys. He would be an easy vote out. So I think I talked myself into keeping him at a C, but I kind of like Cam. I'm kind of rooting for him. I know that like Josie's not here this week. I don't know if she changed her mind on Cam at all.
She changed her mind last week.
Did she?
She's a stan now.
I'm a little bit of a stan now too. Like I kind of like him. He's
our minds,
a nice guy, not problematic.
We
yeah, I know.
How about you,
Oh, I got a lot. Cam is definitely ruffling feathers with the MJ head petting. T-Core, Rabina, and Chelsea were going at his neck. He's definitely.
Who cares, bro?
I'm just saying it's true.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead.
So I don't think that anything serious is going to come from it, but it caused a very interesting conversation between Chelsea and Cam last night where she was questioning his loyalty. She was like, when it comes down to it, are you going to choose me over these other 2 people? Because he told Chelsea that he believes one of the people that would come after her would be Leah, but then followed that up by telling Chelsea if she put Leah on the block, he ain't voting her out. So it just caused like a lot of interesting conversation from those 2. And there are some feelings and drama of that wrapped up into this because of a conversation Chelsea and Cam had that we were not privy to about them potentially liking each other, about not wanting to do it in the house but exploring it outside. But then he has all this head petting, and then she's feeling away because are you loyal to me, or are you just trying to get me to protect you, and then you're going to choose these women over me? That's what Chelsea was trying to get out of Cam last night. Very interesting conversation. If you can find it on feeds, go get it. But it ended well. I thought once Cam understood what Chelsea was saying, it took him a minute. He answered the questions well because he needs to make relationships out of Chelsea, and those relationships are Mackenzie and Leah. You cannot fault him for building relationships outside of you. He has to. He's playing for himself too. But he swore his allegiance to her. He said he would never turn his back on her. He would choose her. Like if it's her and Leah on the block, he's choosing Chelsea. He said the same about T-Court. Even though she put him up, he's still protecting her. So I believe him. Cam hasn't shown to be a liar, and actually him telling the truth has shot him in the foot. So I love how he handled that conversation once he caught on. And he built a great relationship with Rabina this week, so much that T-Core was like, we can use Cam. We could play with Cam. So much that T-Core was back on the Cam side. And also Chelsea shared with T-Core that Cam wants to protect her. So I think he's in a good position unless certain random people win. But with most people, I think Cam is okay.
Chelsea been hating. I ain't gonna hold you, but
they have such a weird relationship. Like I just don't feel like they have any chemistry at all.
They just Cam be chilling, and then Chelsea be talking mad shit about Cam. It's been happening all season.
But
here comes the bud.
There's some sort of conversation. I heard her reiterate the conversation to T-Core, and then he don't need to talk to her like that then. But she's jealous. She's still human. She's still a person.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a game, but she has feelings, and they definitely have creeped in with this head petting other women stuff.
Regardless, they're going to be working together. Like I think unless Chelsea does something extremely impulsive, which it's shown me that she's not going to do. She's very calculated.
Right.
I think that she knows that Cam is the way to go. Unless she somehow gets misted by Takor, then that's a whole nother conversation. But she can feel how she wants. There's no way that this is going to split up, if you ask me. But
No, I
I
agree.
also understand what you're saying now.
I think that Cam is not aggressive enough of a man for Chelsea. He's too passive. Like she needs somebody with
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, it's like almost like
Oh,
he's her little brother or something.
yeah,
Like that's the vibe that I get when I watch them. So that's
I
the fact
agree.
that there's any feelings there is just so like, what?
Yeah, he's too wimpy for me. He don't
Oh
need
my
to-
god.
He's just chilling. He's living his best life.
No, Katie, I need
Shout out to
somebody
his
with
dogs at the crib.
You are a
assertiveness,
voice of
some
the
aggressive.
Janelle. I love your position on this podcast. You're like voice of Twitter. Like I feel
I
like
don't
you
think
and
Twitter
Twitter are
agrees
like
with me.
this.
I'm too nice for
Um,
Twitter, Isaiah.
That's true. Janelle is very nice. She's empathetic. Twitter's not.
I can't even help
I
myself.
don't
I
know.
wish I could.
but are we keeping Cam and C?
I'm fine with it.
With a B or a C.
I'm good with either. I
You
do
got-
think
all
his
right, then
position
bet.
is getting better.
I feel like you only raise it if everyone's like he is this.
Yeah, I'm not
Like, if you're
passionate
like
about it.
iffy, then yeah.
Let's put him in C for now, and then if we decide to change it later, we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
T4.
All right, bet. Let's talk about Takor. Janelle, how you feel about Takor?
Okay. So I was very annoyed with her last week because I just felt that she wasn't going to handle the week right, but it went better than I expected. Like, even though she was annoyed and complaining about Quinn all the days and all the nights of the week, it did not shoot her in the foot. Like, now she's coming into this week, she was able to keep both Rabina and Chemo, which is absolutely insane. She was up Chelsea's butt, trying to make sure her people stayed, trying to see what she could do, even for Chemo, who was laying in the bed somewhere and did absolutely no work for it. She was willing to let him go, but surprise, surprise, she was able to keep him. Now she's at jury with like 2 ride or die soldiers. And an ally has one who is going to keep her safe and will not put her on the block. I think she's in a great spot. Mackenzie would put her up. Chelsea told her to, surprisingly, but she's in a great spot. I can't say anything else.
I think Takor, and I was very critical on Takor's game because I've always saw the potential. My biggest fear was, is she going to try to take initiative down the line? And ever since I've said that, I've just seen mad weeks of her just taking initiative. I think outside of Chelsea, Takor is also tied for like the most control because they're very interesting. Chelsea and Takor are like cool. Chelsea's controlling one side, Takor's controlling another, right? I think the HOH week showed me that like people crying for this girl is crazy. And even if she's like doing people bad, like Joseph, for example, like people don't feel no type of way. Like that's very powerful. My only fear with Takor is her timing is blasphemous. She always waits till the last second to do anything. And I think that's going to piss some people off now that it's jury at some points. But with that being said, it hasn't done her any bad favors yet. And she's shown me the willingness to do things. I think that she would take Rabina over Chemo right now, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
As long as she doesn't get missed by Chelsea, she's if not high B, might be an A tied with Chelsea for me. Like I'm very impressed with Takor. So I'm either B or A right now, but I'm very impressed. Might even say that she's playing a better game than Chelsea, but I ain't gonna say nothing. But I'm just impressed that the fact that Chelsea's not targeting this 3-stack is insane to me. But we'll see. But how you feel, Katie?
I'm like so torn on T-Core. Isaiah, I feel like you and I have been on the same page about T-Core and her game for most of the season. And I do think she's in a way better position. I'm not convinced getting rid of Tucker was the right move because I think Tucker would have been a really good person to stay in jury and win some competitions and keep her safe. I think Quinn is a blind spot for her. Clearly, Quinn is not to be trusted. He sent 2 of his final 2s out the door on his own HOH. And I just think he gets in the habit of putting up his own allies. And if he's someone that you keep close, like watch out, it feels like it's like the curse of Quinn. And I think he needs to be targeted. And the fact that she's like, she was mad and then she wasn't mad. And now she's like, I still am okay with working with Quinn. I just like, why?
She's very emotional.
She's putting him up. She said if she wins, he's
She
up.
did. She is putting. Okay, good. Okay, that makes me
She
feel
is
better.
very emotional, though. I do agree with that. Like, she makes very emotional decisions.
Yeah.
And, we're not voting Quinn if he makes it like, I don't
She
know.
has not let off Quinn's neck for
Sorry.
real.
Okay, good. Because I saw I've been in and out this week. I've been really busy, so
Yeah.
I'm not like super dialed in. But the last few days, I saw something about her saying like, "I'm glad I waited and didn't, I let myself cool off with Quinn. Like I would be open." I'm like, no. We cannot be open to Quinn. We can't be open to Quinn. I am okay with an A-ish, B-ish for T-Core.
No one sounds like they're hard A's. We're gonna do
I'm
A.
not a hard A. I think it's really good that she has Rubina and Chemo. Chemo is not a great ally to anybody, so I don't think that's really a great thing to have in her corner. I think you're right, Isaiah. I think it would be better for T-Core if Chelsea was targeting Chemo than Angela. Angela is just such a weak target at this point. Like, we're in jury. We gotta like get the people out that are actual competition to you. Angela's not winning this game. Like, take Angela to the end with you. She should be everybody's final two at this point. She is not beating you. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm fine with a B.
All right. Listen, I agree with you. I think that Tucker move is bad still.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
It all depends.
Been fine ever since.
We gonna see.
Only been a week.
Yeah,
we gonna see. We gonna see. All right. Let's talk about the next person. Let's talk about one of the worst HOHs back to back in the same season. Let's talk about Quinn. How we feel about Quinn, everybody? Done, bro. This guy is done. Quinn has made some of the worst HOHs of all time. I've been on this hater train.
Hello, I'm like the conductor of the hate train.
This week when I was telling people this guy's done, okay, I was literally like, I don't know if we can get a jury to like vote him to win, and I got pushback. Right, day after, you got T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo like, we need to all make jury so this guy doesn't win. Like, Quinn is not winning this season. I don't care if the rest of the season he does like Dan Giesling type stuff. He cannot get enough jury votes to win, in my opinion. Like, he is done. I'm sorry. I think he has horrible decision making. He's put allies up for no reason. His numbers that you can trust are so minimal. All his targets that he wanted to go last week stayed in the game. Options to work with is Mackenzie, who is kind of iffy on a guy. Chelsea, who is only keeping them until 5 because of a vote. And then Leah, who doesn't even like him. He is done, bro. Angela hates the guy. Rubina and T-Core and Quinn aren't too fond of him. I don't know what he's going to do. Cam, he's going to do whatever Chelsea tells him to do. He has no options. He is dead in the water. I said this last week. I'm saying it again. Dead in the water. This guy is done. You guys can go. But I'm off. Like, he's done, bro. He's not winning.
I'm so with you. I've hated this guy since week 1. It's only gotten stronger every single week. I think he is one of the worst Big Brother players we've seen in a really long time. It's amazing that he's made it this far. The fact that not only did he put his ally up on the block as a replacement when he could have just put up Mackenzie or Cam, it would have been fine. They probably would have stayed. The vote flip probably wouldn't have happened against them, and he could have gotten Chemo out. And he put up Joseph for whatever reason when people in the house didn't even really like Joseph that much. So I don't even know what that decision was, especially if he wanted to keep him in the game. Then he sits there on eviction night and is hysterically sobbing and crying in front of the whole house. It's like, you gotta at least put like a game face on, dude, and at least make people feel like, oh yeah, no, that was my plan. I'm HOH. I know what I'm doing. But like, you clearly don't know what you're doing, and you're showing the whole house you don't know what you're doing. I have never seen a reaction to an eviction as the HOH like I saw from Quinn last night. It's just so... He is simping so hard. I know we're on Twitch. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on Twitch, but whatever. Simping so hard for Leah. Every day I go on Twitter, I see another cringe quote, and she is just playing him. So, I mean, it's masterful what she's doing. I don't know if she's super hyper aware of it or not, but like, even if she's not, this guy's so embarrassing. I can't wait until he leaves. I can't believe we are stuck with him in jury. I wanted him to be pre-jury. He is the worst player in this house. Hands down, worst player. Cam is way better. Cam is 1,000% better than Quinn.
How about you, Janelle?
Yeah, I echo all that. Fine. Yeah, it's good. Well, he's a renom option. If she said if somebody comes
Please.
down, it's either Leah or Quinn. And he volunteered. Oh, he volunteered to go on the block.
How could he volunteer to go on the block after what has happened on both of his power reigns? I
even
I do
understand,
not
bro.
understand.
swear to
Everybody that's
God.
volunteered to go on the block has gone.
And I said, do it, Chelsea, do it. But we've had
Do
no
it.
clue. So I don't know if she's going because Angela pissed her off today.
Yeah, she did.
So
It's
I don't know
it's so good. I'm
who's gonna
sorry.
do it. But yeah. Yes, there's a
It's
quote
just so funny, bro, because like him and Joseph shout out to our happy fellow watchers. Him and Joseph kept talking like, I can't wait for this deep dive. Can't wait for this deep. I don't know if you guys saw Rob was coming at him during his X interview today. I thought it was very funny.
It was funny.
But then like Quinn, you really think you get like a deep dive? Like Terrence been grilling like Quinn like all season 2. Like I ain't gonna lie, like it's very crazy. Where he's just like, bro, like give it up, play the game, bro. Like I'm tired of him. People like Quinn ruin it for people like me. Super fans are not trash. It's people like this that are bad at the game, bro. Like it makes casting like we're not casting more super fans because they're. I'm telling you, it's just people like this guy. It's like clout chasey, okay? Super fans, like I'm telling you, I'm so confident that like I would not be a Quinn if I was in the game, and I know it's easier said than done. But
you would not be a Quinn. Nobody would be a Quinn.
Not.
Nobody would be
bad, bro. It makes us look bad, bro. I'm tired of people like him getting on the show and making us look bad, bro. But
can we respond to Joseph's comment about Quinn dead in the water?
Sure.
So yes, she does. Yes, she has told Quinn, or that yes, Chelsea has told Quinn that he's in her top 5, but then she also told T-Core that she's doing him, looking out for him this week and this week only, and then it's on. So I'm
gonna be real with you, Joseph. Quinn can make it to the final 2, but the me putting him in dead in the water is signifying that he just has 0 shot at winning the game. I don't think he can gain enough votes at this point to get a win. He can get any placement at this point. It's not going to be first because I don't think he's ever going to be able to. How many people are going to be in jury right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Is it 9?
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's going to be 7 votes,
7
right?
people. Yeah.
Majority. You need 4 votes. 3 people, Takora, Rubina, and Kima have already said we're not voting the guy. And
Angela's definitely not voting for him. She hates him.
4 guaranteed votes that he
can't win.
He literally cannot win the game at this point. That's 4 guaranteed votes against Quinn. He is already guaranteed. He's just a body at this point. He's not. If I'm them, Chelsea should be taking Quinn all the way to the end of the game. I'm so serious. That's a guaranteed win for her. Quinn has 0 shot at winning the game at this point. They're like that's how
sniper if he can.
Yeah, that's how dire it is. He cannot win at any point at this point. Like it's that bad. So yeah.
Benjamin says if Angela is the mayor of Ponderosa, she will make sure Quinn will win. And if she is the mayor of that jury, he's done for. I mean, he's already done for, but he's absolutely done for if she gets there.
Kara, I'm counting him out. Kara. I'm telling you, he needs 4 votes. That's 4 people. He cannot get those 4. Rubina, Quinn, Angela, and Tikor are 100% not voting the guy. It's over. Girl, sorry, my dog is playing with my clothes right now. It's done. All right, it's done. All right, bet. Let's move on. Leah, Janelle. I would like to hear.
Okay.
I would like to hear because listen.
Janelle, you're gonna be mad at me.
They was hating on my Leah gas last week.
On.
I would like to hear how you feel about Leah this week.
While I cannot stand her personality, her disingenuousness, she's like mayonnaise to me. I really can just do not vibe with her. However, I can't knock that she's doing a good job. Like it is what it is. Like she did it. Chelsea was looking hard at her. She did a decent job with Chelsea last night. Chelsea wasn't completely as snowed as I thought she was by her, but she talked herself into safety at least for now. Still got Quinn wrapped around her finger. Cam would keep her. I think MJ would keep her. I think she's in a decent spot with most people, which I absolutely hate. people respected her using the veto on Angela of all people. They respected that she did what was best for her game and not what the house wanted her to do. So she seems to garner some respect amongst the other women. She's not dead in the water. She's doing a decent job, and I think she's starting to be more intentional in what she's doing. We saw it in her diary rooms this week, talking about how she don't care about these men, but she's certainly using those relationships. So I honestly don't care where y'all put her, but I have
Nah,
to give
you need to
her.
care. I need to
Okay.
hear where you put her.
All right, I'd put her in high C for
All right.
sure, low B, high C, because she is doing a decent job, much to every annoyance that I have.
I'm gonna be real. I think you putting her a little too high. I'm putting her in C
Fine by me.
because I think she is. I think a lot of people keep saying it's unintentional. I don't co-sign that. I think she's doing a lot of stuff on purpose, right?
I said
My
that.
problem. Oh no. I'm
Yeah.
talking about previously. Girl, what are
Okay.
you doing? She wants to get down. The problem with Leah is that Joseph's gone. And
Yeah.
I think that was some
I'm
of her
gonna say that too.
leverage.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of her leverage has left, and Quinn is like the last diehard Leah person,
Yeah.
it's going to drop her stock a little bit. But
That's
so I'm
fair.
not going to primarily base it on her previous weeks because going into this week, she's not in the same stance. But I think that she is in pretty well. And I mean, position wise, I don't really see her getting targeted anytime yet. I've been saying this, and I'm going to say this about Mackenzie when we get to her too. But I think it's a major mistake for Chelsea and Takor to let Leah and Mackenzie get any farther in this game. And I think that if they were smart, they would be trying to get these two out now because these are two of the players that are in that Steve Moses, that Lisa Donahue, that Josh Martinez spot that just steal games with just some crazy move at the end. They haven't pissed a lot of people off. They're moderately liked. And if they make one huge move, they have a couple comps under their belts. They have a good winning case, you know? So, like, these players are the blind spots of people like Chelsea and Takor, and they need to be monitored very closely. I'm not going to put Leah over Cam, but I do think she's a C but I will put her higher, but she just lost Joseph, and I think that's going to hurt her in the end of the day. But yeah, I'm C. How you feeling, Katie?
I feel the same.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Katie,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's definitely Renon potential for sure this week. So
Yeah, I agree with you, Isaiah. I think a C is the right spot for her only because Joseph is gone. I think if she were still in the game and Chemo was gone and Joseph and Quinn were there, I would definitely put her up into a B because I think she had those two clearly wrapped around her finger. I think I like the strategy here from her of like using these men, not getting in showmances with them, but like finding out, teeing in bed next to Quinn, wearing his glasses, laying his like I'm happy that we're finally seeing someone like do it and kind of own that they're doing it because like it's working and I use what you have to your advantage and this is a really good advantage. We see people every year come in the house and be like, I'm gonna flirt and all the guys are gonna like me and that's gonna be my strategy, but they never do it or they just get into a showmance or whatever. But she's doing it and I think she's doing it really well. Again, I think most of it is probably intentional. Some of it maybe she like fell into it and realized like, oh, this is actually working. I should use this to my advantage. But whatever, she found her way there. I think also hearing rumors, I guess, from Tucker's exit press that she's not the one that made Chelsea cry and that maybe Tucker is actually the one that made Chelsea cry. That I think that actually puts her in a better position because if it's not true that she was rubbing people the wrong way and saying comments that were upsetting people, then that puts her stock even higher for me because that means she's actually not rubbing people the wrong way. She's just chattering. So like, good for her. I think losing Joseph was a bad move. I really liked that she didn't let Quinn on his knees begging, hugging her, like hyping her up, stop her from doing what she wanted to do in the game. Like that to me shows that she has her own agency and she's actually there to play. So I think I'm fine with a C. I think below Cam is fine only because of Joseph being gone, but I do think she's in a much better position than any of us expected her to be in at this point in the game. And I think she's going to be around for a while.
I want her gone so bad because
she's growing on me a little bit.
I've been hating. I've been trying to tell y'all. Leah is a player. I'm telling you.
And she's been posted in the HOH. Posted.
Good. As she should be.
I'm like, oh, you her get out. So
I'm just
I
glad
don't
people
knock
waking
her
up.
game. Yeah, that's what I said. For me, like earlier in the season, I was questioning how intentional things were. Now I'm seeing more of how
Mhm.
intentional they are, at least at this point in the game. I hope that Vito gets used and her butt hits the block. That would make me so happy because I feel like she's definitely a threat to win. And she's definitely
Yeah.
not scared to do something. So
So
other
Mhm.
people
I'm
might
loving
be,
this
but
list
she's
so
not
far.
gonna be.
I know Josie's
So
gonna come back next week and completely tear this list apart, but I'm loving this list so far. I might say. I'm just saying. All right, we got a couple people left. Let's
Mm.
talk about chemo.
D
D.
Damn.
D.
All right.
I
Yeah.
agree.
He
I was with that.
like I know he was a have not for the third time last week and he was really down and out, but he did absolutely nothing from my perspective. His allies saved his butt cheeks. To me, Chelsea choosing to flip, whether on purpose or accident, saved his butt cheeks. Like chemo, like even with Chelsea basically telling him he's going to be a pawn. Very little to no pushback. Absolutely nothing. Like his
Mhm.
campaign is abysmal. Like week one, it was even terrible. So I thought he'd be better by now, but he ain't. He's just lucky he has allies, and T-Core and Rabina were willing to let him go. So
Yeah.
they didn't like T-Core wasn't pissed at him going up. Neither was Rabina. They're like, all right. So I can't see Chemo having he has a lot of safety in the game, but I don't see a lot of win equity. He has people riding for him, but I don't see a lot of win equity for him. So D.
Chemo's game went out the door when Tucker left, and
Yep.
it went out the
Totally
door even
agree.
more when Joseph left. Like
Yep.
he is fully stuck working with Chikora now, and it is over. Like I'm sorry, like he's not winning. Unless he can convince people that like like how we saw Matt go to the end, and then like we thought Matt was winning, and then Jag like completely took out everything. If Chikora
Huh.
goes in there like, yeah, me and Chemo did all this, and Chemo's like, nah, I did it. Like that's the only way I see him winning. But like, no, he's done.
I don't even know if people would believe that to be
I
true.
Yeah,
agree.
Even if he did
I
say that.
agree.
Like I think T-Core
Yeah,
has just talked more game with people, played just more of an upfront out there game. Plus she won HOH, so like she actually had a hand in making decisions where Chemo just sits around. And like he
yeah.
talks a lot, but I agree with you, Janelle. Like he even at this point he was on the block last week. You would think he would fight a little bit to stay off the block this week. Nothing. Send
Like
him out.
Angela went to bat for herself. Like
She
Chemo just
did.
needs a little sprinkle of Angela. Damn.
We could all use a little
No,
sprinkle of Angela.
we
We
don't.
all need a
All
little more
right,
Angela in us, you know?
I'm fine. But let's go. We have someone in every category but S. Let's keep moving. Let's talk about
We
Mackenzie.
gotta put
Katie,
Ainsley
come
back
on,
in S.
Mackenzie. She's
That
out the
twist was
game.
good.
She's out the
No,
game.
Oh,
she'll be
she's out the
back.
game,
She'll be
Katie.
When she
back.
comes back, she'll go back on the board.
Okay.
Mackenzie.
Katie or Jen, how you feel about Mackenzie?
I'm happy for Mackenzie because a couple weeks ago they had a little girls' night and they were all sharing their challenges of playing this game and how it's weighed on them or been a struggle, and she tugged at my heartstrings. Now, I don't she's okay as a person. She's getting a little better as a player. She wants to nominate my girl T Core, so I'm rooting for her to lose every HOH possible.
Yeah, he's such a
But she's in a decent spot. It's like Brooklyn left, and then Mackenzie swooped right in and took up that spot with Chelsea. And she has a lot of protection from Chelsea, and then a good relationship with Cam. I don't know what her relationships are like across the house, really. I don't think there are too many people sticking their necks out for Mackenzie, but I do know that she's a respected player in the game. It seems like the other house guests appreciate the fight that she's had and how she's had to work to stay in the game. I've heard people express that. And I've heard like even Chelsea talk about her perspective on Mackenzie has changed as a player, since she's got to know her and play closer with her. So I think she's doing a decent job. I think she's safe with most people. I'd slap her somewhere in a C if it were up to me.
Mackenzie is the third most dangerous player, in my opinion. And they made a major mistake not taking her out pre-jury because what you guys did was give her a resume. She has some comps under her belt. She can say she was the underdog that went up to the top, and she is now cool with everybody in power. And she is a major swing vote that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And now where they fucked up, I don't care, is you guys now let Mackenzie be in a decision-making position when Chelsea and Takor eventually go to war. Mackenzie gets to make a lot of decisions. She can use her power. And remember that position I was talking about earlier, where it's like that Steve Moses, Josh Martinez, Lisa Donahue to come in and swoop the game from the obvious best player in the house. That is where Mackenzie's at right now. And she can easily, if she gets far enough, comp her way to the end. She can easily gain enough votes to win. This is a very big. There's a lot of feminine energy in this jury, and I feel like she can easily give a speech. Like, I don't know what these people are doing, letting Mackenzie trot around and play this game. But the moment she won that AI arena multiple times, I was like, you guys don't know what you just did. You just created a monster. And I'm not going to lie, she is a sleeper in this season right now. I'm not going to put her in B or A yet, because right now it's still early. She still is in the bottom position of the house, but she is playing from the bottom in a very excellent manner. And I am very afraid for what she is capable of if she makes it a couple more weeks. So right now I'm going to put her behind Cam, because I don't think she's in that driver's seat. But if they give her enough time, she can easily come in, especially, I'm telling you, that double or triple that comes up this season is going to be a very major point for anyone in this house. A lot of stuff could happen, and this game could flip upside down. There's apparently another twist that's coming in this game that we don't even know what that's going to be yet. Mackenzie can do a lot of damage, and I don't think a lot of people really recognize that yet. So she's behind Cam for me. I think she's up there with Takor and Chelsea playing some of the best games. I can easily see her winning this season. That's just me, though. But
I think I would put her over Cam because of everything you just said, Isaiah. I think she's a much more active player than Cam. I think she is in a decision-making seat, and I don't think Cam is in that same decision-making seat. I mean, I don't know what happened with her vote yesterday. Does anybody know why she ended up saving chemo? Did they talk about it? Because that was almost more surprising to me than Chelsea's vote.
There's a lot of excuses that was floating around. Like,
Chelsea said, and I don't know if this is true, but she said Leah saying to her she didn't think she could do it, meaning vote out chemo, or I don't know. Leah saying something to Chelsea and MJ crying made Chelsea go the opposite way than what she intended. I don't know if that's true or not, or she said she didn't know Mackenzie was going to vote the way she did. She thought Mackenzie was going to vote out Joseph or vote out.
That really seemed like it was in the moment, in the moment decision. So I would love to know her reasoning, because I do feel like she and Chelsea, one of the two, was really the flip vote that got Joseph out of the house. And you know, some of Joseph's exit press is like, she very clearly said she didn't even have a relationship with chemo, and she ended up keeping him. So it really doesn't make any sense. I think that everything you said is exactly right, Isaiah. And I think she's the biggest comp threat in the house right now. I think if I'm Quinn and I had a brain, because Quinn clearly doesn't have one that works, she would have been my target last week, because I don't think that they're working super closely together. And I do think she beats him in almost any single comp for the most part. And she's close with Chelsea. She has a good relationship with T-Core. I just feel like she is a sleeper to win the game, because at a certain point she's going to be like one of those other people who you can't get out, because she's going to beast all of these comps. Obviously, not people can't win everything, but I do agree with everything you said, Isaiah, about her having a resume, especially because she won the AI arena that Tucker went out on. She essentially had a huge part in taking Tucker out of the game. That was essential for Tucker to leave that week, and she did it. She was the final nail in Tucker's coffin. That to me is almost a winning speech in itself, and you know she's going to use it. She's actively been trying to play the game since week one. The mat stuff held her back for longer than it should have, but she found her footing, and I think she's only going to go further from here.
Yeah. I think if she can find a way to be a little bit more influential in getting what she wants, because she made excellent arguments to Chelsea, but ultimately Chelsea got her way. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, Janelle, when they get to that 7-6 point, when people are going to be looking at Chelsea, obviously, and people are going to be looking at that 3 stack, she is going to be very vital. You know, I'm telling you, like she is, she's gonna be lethal. So we're putting her top of C? Is that what the thing is?
I'd probably put her above. Yeah.
Okay.
Top of C is fine with me.
Yeah, I think she's
Yeah.
playing a great game
I
from the
think that she
bottom.
could
Like, I'm very impressed.
articulate something well too. Like, I don't think she'd be
Oh
a
yeah.
judge for or arguing for her path. Do you know what I mean? Because that is rare.
Mhm.
People being able to actually understand their path and how they got where they got and be able to articulate it in Big Brother is so freaking rare. But I think
Listen,
she may be able to do that.
Yeah,
And I
she
she
think
is.
could
she wins
still
against
cam from. No,
most
I'm sorry.
people. I think she
Yeah,
wins against most people, most women
she
anyway.
can
Yeah.
still cam from Chelsea. And you
She
already saw that talk from Quinn saying that you're all I have. And listen, it's getting spooky. Especially if Chelsea wants to take Quinn to 5. I'm just saying, it's
I
getting
don't
very
believe that.
spooky. Well, I have to say.
Yep.
But let's go to Rubina, which oddly enough, I said this last week, and I still feel this way. Even though I'm putting her in D, I still see a path for Rubina to win the season. Not in a powerful way. Sorry, my dog is doing the absolute most. Not in a powerful way, but I see a Jordan Lloyd upside for this girl because everyone loves this girl. She's like in Nicole Anthony too. Like just like everyone loves the girl. I think that she's likable enough to get to the end and win. I think that she's such a non-factor that she can just steal a game, but I don't think she's playing good at all, to be quite frank. I think that she's just the sidekick to Takora right now, and I think that that's just a spooky thing. But I feel like if she gets to like final 3, final 4, there's no shot that like someone will waste a week on like Rubina, you know. So I feel like that this is another one of those floaters that really need to just get taken out now because players like Rubina are always just going to take up a slot for somebody. So she's still D, but I'm not closing the door on Rubina winning the season either.
I mean, I'd put her at the bottom of C, but I think that like Chelsea doesn't want to touch her. She has the protection of her trio. Um, I don't think anybody particularly finds her threatening, and I think she could be used as a pawn for sure, but I think there are so many people that will leave ahead of a Rubina. Win equity, I don't know. I'm not so sure, but I know she's well liked. She really has developed a great relationship with Cam over the week. Seeing them, they've talked a lot of game, and Cam has shared that he likes Rubina and he could play with Rubina. That has T-Core higher on Cam. The fact that him and Rubina have connected the way they have. And they also told Chemo that he needs to go connect with Cam so that they can all stay in the game. Him, Rubina, her, Chemo, Chelsea. They were talking about how they were going to encourage Cam and Chemo to talk because there's no sense in them going after each other. So I think she's in a really decent spot. I don't find her to be the most talented player or most convincing player when I hear her talk game. But she's in a decent spot. I don't know, guys.
I actually agree with what Benjamin says that if Rubina gets an HOH under her belt, she could have a shot at winning. I think we need to
I
see her
agree,
have a
Ben.
little bit of power
Yeah.
before we can even really say if she's moved up or down. Like her winning last night was great, but as soon as Julie posted what the comp was last night, I immediately was like, "Oh, Rubina's got this." There was no chance, zero chance that anybody but Rubina was going to win that competition. So even that, it was a huge accomplishment, but the 2 people she went against were probably, unless like Angela was up there, those were the best 2 possible people in the house that she could have gone against in that competition to have it in her favor. So I would like to see her make more decisions and be just a little bit more active. I do think she is definitely in that sidekick position, but
Mhm.
she has a good social game, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I could go with top of D, bottom of C for her. I do think she
Yeah,
is
she's
better
over
than
Chemo.
Chemo. So I
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And Katie, she like ran back to try her plug at least 2 times before she
Yeah.
won.
She
Like
was
she
she was
smoked
moving.
them. And I was
She's
honestly
athletic.
she is. And I was a little worried that her short stature might make it harder but it didn't. Like she did well.
Yeah, she was climbing up all over that thing. She did great.
Wow, Kiera.
Lastly, let's talk about Katie's favorite. Let's talk. Kara Wilding. Sorry, I just saw some.
There's a lot going on in the chat
Wilding.
right now.
I can't even put that on the screen. All right, Katie, go ahead. Let's
Wow.
talk about your favorite
Well, I like that she has fight in her. I like that she doesn't want to go on the block. I like that she pushes back. She's, she's my girl, but might be her time. I don't want to see her go. I think she's very entertaining. She's not winning. I like that she made it to jury. I think it's going to be interesting to see where her vote goes. That I think is a good end to Angela's story of, is she going to be the first or second person in the jury? Where's she going to vote? How's she going to control the jury? Probably not much at all. But like nobody has any respect for her, unfortunately. Like, which is her own doing. So that's just the problem is that, I've been an Angela stan from the beginning of just like, she could do it. She's winning. She's getting off the block. People are using these things on her, but she just has no clue what's going on around her. So like, that just makes it, the fact that she voted out chemo last night was just so wild to me. I just, I don't know. I can't say she's dead in the water because somehow she's still with us, but she's not winning. She's a better chance to win than Quinn, I think, though.
I think she's joining the group of Rennie, Sheila Kennedy,
Rennie is my
Felicia,
favorite
possibly.
player.
Listen, where
I love Rennie. So
I have to hear this. Faces. No, I think
Rennie hates Angela, which is the crazy. Did you see she was tweeting about her?
Yeah, I did.
You think he hates her?
Yeah, she's annoyed by her, which I'm like, Rennie, what are we doing here?
Should we get Rennie on the pod? You want to get Rennie on the podcast?
Oh my god, I would die. She's my favorite. I love her.
She's my favorite. Rennie on the podcast.
Oh my god, please.
We're gonna figure that out.
Please.
But I think she's joining the Rennie group of like, she's not coming back. She's just she's cracked. And she will forever be a crack character, but she's not one this season, guys.
But what did Rennie was at what, 5, 4?
Final four.
Because I think that Dan and Memphis at the time, from what I haven't watched the season in a long time, but they made a good move bringing her in, which I think people should be doing with Angela. Like she's desperate for someone to bring her in and make her a number.
She's just unreliable and untrustworthy.
She is unreliable.
I can't work with that. When you vote, she went on a solo mission and voted chemo for what? What is she blindsided?
Right, I can't defend her anymore. I can't do it.
I can't do it, bro.
No, I think it's time for her.
But
I bet you she's not going this week.
Oh no. She's like,
it's very possible. Yeah, Angela, if she could have, I just wish she had a better recovery. If she could have just shut up and been quiet and in somebody's pocket, she really could have gone far. But she's her own worst enemy. But at the same time, like I thought her, like when her one-on-one with Chelsea was so good to me. She tried to gill her. She went for the jugular. And you like to see people
That's what you need to do.
Cry, throw a fit, guilt them, do whatever the hell you got to do to stay off the block. And that is what Angela was doing. Now she pissed Chelsea off. That didn't help none, but that is because she's fighting for her spot in the game. I can't do anything but respect that. To me, she fights harder she fought harder this last 24 hours than I see most people fight on the block. Like as far as campaigning and making an argument for themselves. So she's a non-threat. Chelsea's trying to not make any waves so she can be safe next week. But kudos to Angela for putting up a fight for herself. I can't do anything, but I don't think she's winning. I agree. I think she could easily leave this week. Dead in the water is fine to me, but I still want to give her some kudos for her fight.
I want to give her kudos too, and I agree with you, Janelle, because obviously as a resident Angela stan, it's just frustrating to me with a season full of people volunteering to go on the block. She is the one person that consistently fights to stay off the block and fights to stay in the game and wants to play and wants to take risks. And she was gonna make a move on Tucker. She did in the week that he ended up going home. Like that was a good move, but nobody trusts her, and they kept it. They just spilled it immediately to T-Core right away. That it just, and it got her up on the block. But if she could keep it together, she could be a good player. But she just can't control her emotions. But her instincts are right. She just cannot control herself, and that is her biggest problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's doing too much. She do have. Why did she take out Tucker? Why was she beef with Tucker?
She's stupid for doing that. She's stupid for doing
that. I love her, but she's a horrible player. The moment she exposed an alliance, it was over. Like, I'm sorry.
She's not wrong though about.
Yes, she was.
No shit. For Tucker, Tucker only because he was protecting her, but she was right that he was going to prioritize Rubina over her.
She was
Like
the
that.
only
Yes,
person
Katie,
protecting her,
yes,
though.
She was
he
right.
was not at the top of
All
his
right, but to
priority.
like 3, he is the only person who gave any care about Angela's game.
Well, that
No
was
one
the
cares
biggest
about
point.
Angela.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one cares. Tucker's the only person who cares about her game. She literally blindsided herself. That's how bad it is. Like Tucker's the only one
Yeah.
that included her in anything. Literally told people, if you come for Angela, you come for me. No one, everyone's like, just throw Angela on the block. Like no one cares about Angela, bro. You can't sit here and tell me taking.
No, nobody
time
does
to
care
do
about
that.
her, that's the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing. She did put herself in that situation.
Yeah,
But I
she's
do think
cracked, but
she
like,
she
come on,
understands the game. It's just that she's too
Listen,
emotional.
like
she's dead
my
in the water for me. I'm sorry.
my like for Angela went up substantially when she was upset about the Quinn comments about what she had said about him. She's like, and I did say it. Like,
She is one of the worst. I'm not gonna call her the worst, but she is one of the better personalities for sure. But she's a bad player. But
I'm sorry,
Brittany was
Quinn
a
is
bad player.
1,000 times worse than Angela.
That's what I'm saying.
1,000 times worse than
Yeah,
Angela.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't even think Quinn is one of the worst players of all time either. Like this cast, Kenny's there for sure, but like there's certain like there's been worse people than the people in this
Bad player, so Quinn therefore is worse than Kenny.
BB21, y'all. We went through BB19, y'all. Like, let's be real. There's been worse players than Quinn and Angela. They're bad, but they're not horrible. I went through Bella, okay? Like,
I think Quinn's worse than Bella.
You're crazy. But Angela is dead in the water for me. I don't know about you guys, but
I would maybe put her in D. I just don't think she's leaving. I don't think she's leaving this week.
Who cares? She ain't winning.
I care.
all right, I'm voting with Katie. Put her in D.
I'm so tired of y'all, bro.
Yes!
This list was this close to being perfect. I was like, this is the best list we ever had.
It's
and then
perfect.
you just had to do that.
No, it's perfect. No.
I can't wait for Josie to come in and blow this all up. I'm hyped. I cannot wait. But here we go. Chelsea still
she's gonna win that
A tier. Quinn is officially at the bottom of our list. And there you have it. Fun podcast. Look, we did it in an hour. Good job.
I know. Can you believe
with less
it?
people.
Yeah.
We'll see. But all right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you like, please follow all of our social medias and all that fun stuff. Rate it 5 stars if you like it. If you don't rate it at all. Wait till you hear something you like. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps us with the algorithm, and tell all your friends and family that you enjoy what we got going on here. Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at RealSlimKatie and on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. Haven't been there in a little bit, but I'll be back soon. Probably I'm taking a little bit of a trip, so I won't be here over the next 2 weeks. So Janelle, fight the good fight for Angela for me if she's still here, okay? But I'll be back in 2 weeks. So maybe I'll be back on Twitch then too. We'll see.
All right, Janelle, how about you?
You can just find me at Janelle Michaud on Everything That Matters. I'll be talking to Joseph on Monday. I have no idea what his exit press has been hilarious. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
Oh, I have no idea what to ask that man, but I look forward to talking to him.
Well, he'll spill, it seems like so.
And listen, now that it's jury, we're going to drop all of our pre-jury interviews and then we'll go from there. Because listen, I'm sorry, chat. Do y'all really want to see a Lisa exit interview by herself or Kenny? Like, let's be real. So we're going to bundle it. We're doing a binge, okay? We don't need the fodder, okay? But and lastly, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers and everything. And I dropped 5 podcasts at once for Survivor Philly. So a lot of content on our audio platform. So make sure you check that out. But we will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.